The He podcast is powered by Higgy Nutrition. Healthy gut, happy you. Who is he? He is me. Hi, I'm Refie Redzuan. This is he. Here is my chance to share some amazing stories with some amazing people that are inspiring to me. He celebrates everyday people of everyday life. He revolves around conversations that inspire others to change the world and make a difference in life, with a little bit of laughter and a whole lot of drama. Join me for personal stories and experiences on health and healing, successes and failures, recovery and discovery, anything relatable, and anything in between. He elevates us to rise again and live our very best life. Just so you know, you are not alone. He is with you. We all know that vegetables and greens are good for you and are essential for good health and proper nutrition. However, given our current lifestyles and hectic pace of life, it sometimes is difficult to get all your nutrition on a daily basis. That's where my Daily Greens comes in. My Daily Greens is a premixed prebiotic drink that contains chlorophyll, spirulina, pomegranate, ashwagandha, and pagaga, all in a convenient sachet. If you want to be the boss of your health, just mix one sachet of My Daily Greens with water for better gut health, better energy, and immunity support. I have been taking My Daily Greens for some time now and have noticed improvements in my gut health and my overall well-being. Plus, it tastes good. As a special offer to listeners of the He podcast, you can get 10% of your order by using the code HE10 at checkout. Just head on to higgynutrition.com, that's HGHYnutrition.com, or visit the link in the description below. I lupa nak wish Happy New Year. Tak apalah, dah lah.
Yeah.
So, Happy New Year.
So Happy New Year. Are you
Ah,
going
ah.
anywhere?
Fadzli Sharif and Refie Redzuan engage in an exchange of thoughts on mind over matter. In this episode, the conversation between them is about their take on the state of mind and how their aspirations in life keep them moving ahead and staying positive. The mindset is one of the most influential forces moving either away or towards achieving goals and improving overall health by harnessing the power of the mind as the key to success and happiness. Exposing mental vulnerability is not a weakness but a strength, and knowing people who experience the same struggle will feel they're not alone. This is their story. Hi, Fazli.
Hey, Refie. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Everything is good. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for joining me today again, to talk about our take on our state of mind and how we keep our aspirations in life moving ahead and staying positive. And I know you mentioned about the mind in the last conversation. So I thought it would be a perfect candidate to have this conversation with me and dive deep into what it really means. How do you describe your current state of mind?
All right. First of all, thank you, Refie, for having me for the second time. It's a great pleasure to be here again. All right. So coming back to your question, what's the state of my mind right now? I think right now, I mean, it's being towards the end of the year, a lot of things have happened, throughout the 1 year. We just, got out of COVID totally, and now it's coming back again.
Mhm.
So I would summarize the entire year filled with a lot of uncertainties. Even here in Malaysia, we had change of government, all that kind of stuff. So, um, this period of where everything constantly changes, right? So the state of my mind, and I've been working towards this for quite some time, is to be flexible. Because
Mhm.
I know for a fact that things can change. There's this black swan concept where you don't see something totally unexpected just happens, right? So
Mhm.
nowadays, when I speak to my friends, right, and they ask me, more or less same question, like how's your year so far and all that. It's been a lot of curveballs since January. And and the idea is, when something that is unexpected happens,
Mhm.
um, I had to be ready to accept it, and then start plotting the future. Like, okay, how the fact that things have changed now, what
Mhm.
else do I need to do to adjust to be able to still get closer to the original goal, right?
Mm.
So yeah, just to sum it up, I think, if I can just choose one word regarding my state of mind at this point, I emphasize a lot on the flexibility of the mind, staying nimble while staying focused. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and I mean, how about you, Refi? Well, what is your current state of mind?
I think I don't have an answer to that, but I can tell you one thing. I feel like current state of mind is very numb.
Numb,
Um,
yeah?
it's very numb, and I have all these goals that I think I want to achieve, but I think I may have achieved it, but I don't feel like I have achieved it. I have this mixed emotion to describe the mind now. Like I
Mm,
don't know whether is it a good state or a bad state, or is it I really don't know.
yeah.
You mentioned about goals and what you want to achieve in your goals and whatnot. I I don't know if it's in the mind or if it's not actually the mind is working.
And
Yeah.
when there are many things that happen, the mind has a mechanism
Huh.
to basically make sure you're safe, right? So sometimes
Yes.
when you feel like you're neither here nor there, basically
Yes.
the mind is working for you to create that space so that you can survive, right?
Yes.
Because if you cannot have that empty space, then you're going to easily be overwhelmed and your stress level will go up and all that. So it's
Mm.
like a fail switch, the switch, right? The mind has this auto
Mm-mm.
switch. When you are overwhelmed, I believe it goes
Mm-mm.
into that state. And actually, it's a good thing, Rafi, the way I
Yeah.
look at it,
Mm-hmm.
hearing you say this,
Mm-hmm.
because it suggests to me, or at least this is my personal view,
Mm-hmm.
I notice that when things are about to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to create change. Subconsciously, we know that we want to change certain things.
Mm.
And when there's the change is about to happen, there's this period called chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
And chaos could also mean you feel like, you're not sure, you're unsure, you're a little bit confused and all that. It makes you uncomfortable,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's the nature of change, I believe, Rafi, because before any particular change can happen, there needs to be a period of chaos. For example, if you have a job and you hate your job so much, right? And you've always wanted to resign and do something nicer, better,
Mm.
that period before you actually hand over your resignation,
Yeah.
right? You are bombarded with thousands of questions, right? It makes you uncomfortable. Fear start to kick in. You start worrying, you know,
Yes.
and the mind jumps like a monkey almost, right? It goes
Mm-mm.
every direction, right? But
Yeah.
that is the very nature of change. Before something can happen, there needs to be a little period of chaos. And that's actually a good thing. Yeah.
I do have a lot of weird dreams. They call this out of body experience, astral
Mhm.
projection sort of experience during sleep. That I believe that the mind is working while I'm
Yes.
sleeping. Um, and then when you wake up, your body, my body, feels so exhausted, like extreme fatigue. And then
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
like you have something to look forward to, but at the same time, like you don't have the drive to or the energy to actually do it, but you have to do it
Yeah.
anyway. So you put on your autopilot mode and then just
Yeah.
get on
Survival
with
mode,
life.
right?
Survival mode, yes. But I do
Yeah.
also like when you say that this is the course to change.
Yes.
Um, I'm expected perhaps something in the future to change. But I
Yeah.
again, with all these questions going in my head, like what will happen? Will I be okay? Will my family be okay? Will I be ready? why would the changes be?
Yeah,
Some changes
yeah,
can be really scary, but
yeah,
I think you and I probably have went through changes in our life that's scared enough that I think
yeah.
we know we can go through it regardless.
We got this. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Now, how do you how do you personally encourage and foster a healthier mindset? Just to negate this whole negative experience and to influence more positive, healthy mindset so that you can lead a healthier lifestyle emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and physically.
I think I have a very simple approach, or rather a logical approach, Refie, to this, right? I know that we are the product of our environment. They
Mm-hmm.
say there's a saying that says that we are what we eat, right? And they say
Yeah.
that the quality of our life depends on the average of the quality of life of the five persons closest to us, for example, right? So it shows that our internal state is very much affected by our external environment. So we have our senses, and our senses, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
it captures all this, whatever we surround ourselves or whatever we expose our senses to, it will absorb and store it in our mind, right? So then my logical approach then says that if you want to have a collection or a database of positive stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be a positive person. I want to be talking and speaking positively. I want to be surrounded by positive people. So I also had to make sure that my database, the input into my database, is full with, or at least mostly filled with positivities. Hence, I
Mm-hmm.
then when it comes to reading, for example, then I start reading and I read all the positive stuff, right? So that is the input into the database. And when I hang out with some friends, I make sure that these are positive friends, people who can, you know, basically bring you up, support you, encourage you. So every time I sit down with them after 2, 3 hours, I come back feeling more positive. Now,
Mm-hmm.
imagine you do this every day from morning till night. You just absorb positivities and whatnot. It is almost impossible to be negative because
Mm-hmm.
whenever you are faced with a question, your mind starts to work and it starts looking into the database, and all it can look for are positive
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So it will then
Mm-hmm.
collect this positive information and pass it down to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
as a result, things become more positive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there are a few things, or rather radical things, that I had to do to get
Yeah.
to that point. One
Mm-hmm.
of it, which was quite tough to do, was to basically say no to people who are affecting me negatively. They might
Yes.
or might not realize that they are doing that,
Yeah.
but I have to take full responsibility. So,
Yes.
and sometimes it is an outright, you know what, bro? I can't do
Mm-hmm.
this anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
would like to surround myself with different type of people. It might
Yeah.
hurt them, it might not hurt them. But what
Yes.
is the most important is myself. And I think that is the at least the very little bit of responsibility we can take with regards to our personal life, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there are so many times when we have a friend, and this guy or this woman always calls us and whatnot, and all they do is say negative things, right? But we are
Yeah.
friends. So either we tell them that, you know what, I think it's been filled with too much negative stuff. Can we shift
Mm-hmm.
the team into more positive? Or if they can't do that, then I think it's more important for you to just walk away from that environment to
Mm-hmm.
protect yourself, right?
Yeah.
So
It's a
so this is
transfer.
the yeah, it's a transfer.
A
Can
transfer of,
so
yeah.
you have to so before this podcast started, I we talked a little bit about my trip to Jakarta, right? When
Yeah.
I was there, I was surrounded by people who really want to change their lives for the better,
Yes.
right? and that is so inspiring. And you know, and the first thing when I landed last night, I was sitting while waiting for my grab. I was listening to a conversation next to me and talking about, all the national problems and whatnot, and started
Mhm.
already lah, kan?
Yeah.
So then I feel that, oh my God, I actually felt a lot better when I
Yeah.
was in Jakarta, right?
Yes.
Because I was protected from whatever issues that doesn't concern me, and I was just focused on the very positive things that I want to achieve there.
Yeah.
So I think that's my strategy. But I'm interested to know, like, how about you? Like when you want to protect your state
Mm.
of mind. I mean, what's your go-to? I mean, what's your strategy? This will be interesting because I know I maybe I can apply it as well. I'm
Yeah.
running out of strategy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I would pick to listen to a podcast where that would feed me with positive affirmations. Um, I think it sounds so silly,
No,
but
it's not.
because you know what, like you said, choose your environment. Like being in a remote town, I don't have that much choice to, you know, in terms of to choose what I want to be in an
Yeah.
environment with, you know. So it's very limited. This is also something that I have to accept and rather
Okay.
change. Yeah. So I think the first thing I'd do if I really feel like I want to foster more positivity into my mind is I would find something to listen to or watch and feel liberated from watching it or listening to it.
Yeah.
Having this conversation with you and having conversation with some of my podcast guests helped me to build me up again and rise from the
Yeah.
ashes.
Yeah.
And I must say that I cry a lot. I
Yeah.
cleanse myself with crying. Um,
Okay.
like I said, I know it doesn't sound, it's an unpopular opinion to,
Yeah.
or very, very um, uh, intellectual, so not intellectual sort of answer, is to listen to music. Some
Oh
music
yeah.
gives you this energy. Some gives
Yeah.
you, some give you this very low vibe. It's very sad. So it really depends what you want to give and what you want to take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And um, I think you and I are different men.
Yeah.
Um, I would say like I am more I have a feminine touch where I'm more in touch with my emotions. So
Correct.
I really rely on my emotion a lot to
Yeah.
really, define my day.
Yeah.
However, if you just notice how you just described is totally different than mine. And I
Yeah.
think there's no, right or wrong in this
Yeah.
situation. It's
It's
just that I
probably a
think,
combination.
yes, I can also try and adopt your ways of coping
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
your daily lives,
Yeah.
like, oh, I think I also sometimes, when you spoke about being surrounded by people who are so negative, who sometimes call you and just have to blurb everything out to you,
Yeah.
but we cannot help it sometimes just to say
Yeah.
no, or
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm okay, sometimes I just let myself be a listener to ear to this person. For
Yeah.
example, she's my best
Yeah.
friend. I
Yeah.
would just listen, and then of course I'll be affected by that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tapi
Yeah.
kan, I I I I I I am not that strong to say no just yet.
Yeah. No, no,
You know?
I think it's I think I ni kan my problem, Rafi, is that
Ah,
I'm very I like to go for quick, fast, apa ni, quick solution and efficient, right? I like
yes,
to do
yeah,
that, right?
yeah.
So betul. I mean, previously, so you've heard of this saying that there are people who like to accommodate. I was guilty of that, right? I was highly accommodative. I always think about, yalah, tapi tak. tak seronok lah kalau dia fikir I macam ni, maybe
Betul.
he thinks that I don't
Mm-mm.
care at all and all that, right?
Mm-mm.
But what I realize also, Refi, is your intention tu yang paling penting. Is the most important thing, right?
Yeah,
If your
yeah,
intention is good, which is to protect your health, your mental health, and you want to stay positive, then the amount of guilt too is not that much, right?
yes, yes,
Because
yes,
you are
yeah,
doing it for yourself, and you
yes,
should love yourself more than anyone
yeah,
else, right?
betul.
So
And
this is the
y- when you do it, you would do politely. You would do in a manner where it's
yeah, yeah,
acceptable than
yeah,
just shouting
yeah.
on the face and saying, "Get out
Yes,
of my
yes,
face," you know?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
Because your
So I
intention.
think,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I just want to add a little bit. I think we both can agree that nowadays is
Mm.
a era of social media, kan?
Yes.
So what I try to do every end of the year is I do a
Mm.
social media audit, right? So I
Mm.
will click at my list of following, right? I mean, I follow certain channels on, Instagram,
Yeah,
Facebook,
yeah,
TikTok, and
yeah.
whatnot, right? I do an audit and I try to cut 20 to 30% of things which are least positive,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
because I do spend time on social media, at least 1 to 2 hours a day, right? Just scrolling, listening to,
Mm-mm.
speeches, whatever. But I noticed that every year of doing that, it gets better and better. Now I look at my list, it's so much better than 4 or 5 years ago,
Yeah, yeah, betul.
right?
Betul.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
healthier list. It's a
Yeah.
healthier accounts that I'm following, and I think that did a lot of difference in my life. That's for sure.
Betul. Yeah. And I spoke about this a lot. We shouldn't take personally if people decide to unfollow you because
Oh
they
yeah,
are in a healing journey. They want to
correct.
filter certain things that they, you know, it's hard not to take personally,
Yeah,
but if you understand this concept, I advocate for people to not take it personally if they have to let you go.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Um,
definitely.
and it's okay because I think we do that too. Me,
Yeah,
you, some of my friends, if they think certain accounts does not feed them, in the right way,
yeah,
they have the right to do it, and we do not have to take it personally. It's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, this goes back to the basic, for example, right? Macam masa kita kecil-kecil, kita bila kena marah dengan mak bapak kita, we felt sad, right? And the first thing
yes.
that came to mind was like, oh, my dad scolded me because he doesn't love me, you know?
Uh-uh.
So we have to realize now that we are
Betul.
in our 30s and 40s, we are no longer a child. That inner child is always going to ask for attention and always sensitive and all that. So we have
Yeah.
to come back to ourselves, talk to our inner child. And we all have it, our inner child in us, right? We
Yes.
just have to tell our inner child, hey, it doesn't mean that if somebody says something to you that you don't like, they don't like you or they don't love you, right?
Mm-mm.
Think positive. Maybe they do have a point. Now, if they did have a point, what would that point be? And if
Yeah.
that point is valid, what are you willing to do about it to better yourself? You see, it becomes highly constructive rather than,
Yeah.
kita go into this sad hole and we try to feel
Mm-mm.
sorry
Yeah.
for ourselves, kan?
Yes. 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 And do you mind if I ask you, like, what would your inner child be at this age? And I would tell you mine.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, I have
I'm
to go first.
curious
All right.
for someone
Why
like
you
you. Yeah.
curious?
For
Huh?
someone
Yeah,
like you who is in your 40s, you spoke
yeah,
about inner child. I
yeah.
wonder what a real man's inner child would be.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I think the child in me, he used to be stuck at maybe 7 or 8 years old, that child,
Mhm.
even when I was in my 20s or early 30s, right? But I think that child now has probably grown into, say, a teenager, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A teenager, and it's not as sensitive as
Yes.
it used to be, right? And in the last episode, I talked to you about going to therapy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, come to think of it, that few years of therapy, the topic that we focus most on was actually that inner child part, right?
Right.
It's always about, oh, how did you feel? What was your best or your your happiest moment when you were a kid? What was your
Yeah.
saddest moment when you were a kid? And I
Yeah.
think what that process did to me is that it made me realize that it has been more than 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that feeling that I felt at that point in time was no longer or as much as or relevant as much today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I constantly I acknowledge the inner child in me, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm very quick, I feel, to just snap back into current time and
Yeah.
remind myself that, Fazli, that's how you were supposed to feel 30 years ago,
Mm.
right? And please tell yourself that after 30 years, you have developed a stronger and a more a healthier emotions and processing. How you process your emotion after 30 years, it should be better because of all the experiences and knowledge, right?
Yes. Yes.
So just reminding myself, and it's like, hey, fine, I understand how you felt, but now is you're already 40. And I can see this is the beautiful thing about having kids because we
Yes.
can see ourselves in them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then
Yes. Yeah.
then you just reflect lah, and I think that has been a very good way of
Mm-hmm.
benchmarking myself.
Mm-hmm.
And how about you?
I think my inner child would be feeling normal.
Normal. That's good.
Yes. I I I I think my inner child is to be normal like any other kid.
Yeah.
For me, I never felt like I was normal. Like I didn't play football or I didn't always play with the boys. I'm always with the girls. And my inner child would be the desire to be normal. Now that I
Okay.
know that I am in my late 30s, I know that everyone is not that normal after all. You know what I mean?
How true is that? I mean, when was the
Kan?
last person you ask
Ah,
someone and they say that I think I'm normal? I don't think
you
I've
know,
ever heard that, right? You are absolutely right.
exactly.
Come to think of it.
So, yes, exactly. So that's the point. Meaning that 30 years ago, I may have seen other people lead a normal life. I have never been normal. I've always been called this, person or this type of person or this family and that and do this and do that. But I know I never have led a normal life. That's for sure. In terms of upbringing, how my friends were, where was I brought up, my friends, my family, it has always been different than people around me. I took pride in that because it's always been something that people admire to be.
Yeah,
But deep
yeah,
down, I have always felt like I'm not normal. So that inner child in me that still lives today, although I know the fact that people are not normal after all. But how do you define normal? I think
yeah,
how I have encountered to really take myself away from that narrative is to understand what is my definition of being normal. Say, if I were to get a DIVORCE, D, I would be like, people would say, oh, because nila, itulah, whatever. But normal people would be like, oh, this sebab nak orang lain ke or something else.
yeah,
But mine would not be acceptable. You know what I mean? So that
yeah,
is not normal for me and for the people around me
yeah,
because well, he's going against it. That's why decide to do that. But for other people, it's okay because it's just life they choose or whatever. So I still struggle with that, Fazli. I still
yeah.
struggle with it. Like if I step in, I'm at fault. If I step out, I'm still at fault.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Maybe
it hasn't
maybe a good
become just
approach
inner
is,
child.
yeah,
Huh?
maybe a good approach is to apa ni, to just focus on what you want to achieve or what you who you are, kan? So what I
Yeah.
mean is this, right? Nowadays,
Yeah.
when I do something, Refi, I think over, okay, now that I'm 40, before this, I always
Uh-huh.
second guess myself. Am I
Yeah.
doing the right thing or am I doing the
Mm.
wrong thing? Right? There's always that.
Mm.
So macam, okay, there's a situation, kalau cakap salah, tak cakap pun salah. Right?
Betul.
Okay,
Yes,
so
yes.
I have
Yeah.
always second guessed myself. Now that I have entered 40, I'm not sure is it the age or is it the accumulation of knowledge and experiences.
Yeah.
I tell myself this is the narrative now. So,
Yeah.
Fazli, over the last 30 over years of your adult life, are you finally convinced that most of the decisions that you've made in your life were the
Mm-hmm.
right decisions for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the answer for me was yes, it was, most of it was the right decision. So I just take that statement now and I say that
Mm-hmm.
following from here on, I believe that whatever I choose and decide to do is going to be the best decision for me regardless. I don't second guess myself as much, right?
Yeah.
And it's true. After 2, 3 years, when I look back, it confirms that, oh yes, you were a little bit doubtful, but it was the right decision after all.
Yes. I think that's when the statement "everything happens for a reason" come into place.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you
I
realize, okay, why you made that decision. Is inner child is in the mind or is in the heart?
Oh,
That
what
is
a
a big question.
fantastic
Is it in the
question, man.
mind? Is it in the mind or in the heart? I feel it. It's in. I feel it. Okay, I feel 50% in the mind, 50% in the heart.
Yeah, I think I would go with that. Kan?
Yeah. Can?
Pasal
Yeah.
I think it's in the mind in the sense that the mind processes the logics of it, right?
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
the heart processes the emotions of it. What I
Yeah.
learned in the last few years is that no amount of logic can basically justify the emotions. No amount,
Yes.
right? So, for example, if I say something hurtful towards you, Refi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, then I can always argue that, but what I said is true, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes, what I said could be true, but it doesn't deny the fact that you feel hurt because of my statement. Just because it's true, it doesn't make it right. Correct?
Yes.
Right? So I
Yes.
feel that,
Yes.
so I think going on from that logic, right? It's a combination of both the mind and the heart, right? So
Yeah.
I think whenever we want to do something, and I have to say this, I'm guilty sometimes of being uh too apa ni, too straightforward. And there's also a saying that says that it's not what you say, it's how you say it, right?
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think
Yes.
that kind of statement acknowledges that, there's inner child in that heart, in all that emotion, there's an inner child. So we have to be sensitive when we talk to people about what's the state of their inner child, right? And if
Mm-mm.
they do feel
Mm-mm.
hurt because of our words or our actions, I know I acknowledge that there's no amount of logic that can make that feel different, right? So what
Yes.
we need to do is then attend to that inner child, and then that person will then use both logic again and
Yeah.
emotions combined to make sense out of the situation, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
so
Yes.
and I mean, how do you look at the position of the inner child? Okay, it's 50% mind and heart, but
Yeah.
how do you translate that?
I think the mind says what it says. The heart wants what it wants.
Wow.
So if the mind says what it says, if the mind says I'm not normal, but the heart says it's okay,
Yeah.
you know? And
Oh my
when the heart
gosh.
says what it wants, and the mind says it's not okay, because that's not what it is. There's a two fight between the mind and the heart. It's an ongoing war within myself when the mind says something, when the heart wants something. You
It's like
know?
buying a new car, right, Refi?
Yes.
You
Uh-uh.
want that car, but then your
Uh-uh.
mind says you don't need it, but your
Betul.
heart says I will
Yes.
feel happy if I have it.
Yes. And then you bought it anyway, and
And
then you
then
have
you
to
bought
go.
it because the heart
Yes.
always wins. They say
Yes.
listen to your heart.
Yes. And then the mind would then, of course, trying to apa, trying to balance that kan by adjusting all this accounting, make it look okay that you can afford. Kan? When the monthly payment is okay, dah
Ah,
mampu.
ah.
You forget about the service, the every 15,000 kilometer service or every 10,000.
That one can wait, right? That one can
Ah.
wait. I bawa elok-elok je, tak ganas-ganas pun boleh pergi 20,000 ni.
Lepas tu, tak, even so, mak, your tayar pancit.
Aduh,
Dia ada je Fazli. Tell me,
ada
believe
je.
me. Dia ada je.
Right?
So, lepas tu, apa, bila time je baru je renew insurance kan.
Uh,
Macam dekat US, you can pay insurance dia bayar every month.
oh, okay. You can choose not to
Ah,
pay next month then.
dia bayar monthly insurance tu. So
Hmm.
katalah it's $4,000, you divide lah by
Ah,
12. And
aha.
then every month dia deduct lah your credit card, your statement
Oh,
ke.
okay, okay.
Malaysia you kena beli full price
Setahun, setahun
and
lah.
then you buy insurance. And then you get
Ah,
your like apa tu?
yeah,
Road
road tax.
tax.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
it's a dream, if it's something that you want, you know you can squeeze here and there, the
yeah,
dream is yours. Betul tak?
yeah.
Kan?
Betul,
So
betul.
that's what I mean by I think when your mind and your heart kan, your inner child, I mean you want something.
Yeah,
It's all yours. It's yours to decide. But
yeah,
what do the mind calculate? This,
yeah,
prediction of, when you have it and when you don't have it. And then
uh-huh.
you make that decision. So that goes
Yeah.
to this really important question.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think the final point is this. I think the conclusion of this, Rafi, is
yeah,
do know exactly what you want because
yeah,
whatever happens, you susah nak bayar installment ke, you stress ke, but at least you know it's what you wanted and it was your decision, right? Betul tak? Yang geram tu, we didn't want that car. The salesman was so good into making us
yeah,
believe we want it, we bought it
yeah,
and then we regretted, right? That's the
yes.
worst. I feel. But if
That,
it's something that you've always wanted, I think you can pacify yourself after that lah.
yeah. That's the ego, Fazli.
Ego. Oh my
That's the
god.
ego. I think it's the ego for me because bila I pergi kedai, katakan, okay, we have money to spend, for example, kan? To
Yeah.
spare funds I would say to treat yourself. Okay. And
Yeah.
then come this person who is, wow, this is good for you. You look good in it. It's hard to say
Mm.
no because the ego feels like, oh, wow, I am being celebrated, Uh, they feed you with compliments and they feed you with all these nice words,
Yeah.
that again change the narrative of you as a person, kan? Lagi-lagi
Yeah.
bila the feeling of swiping your card or make
Oh
that payment, yeah, and have it approved,
yeah.
it's a whole
Def-
different
yeah.
experience. It's like,
Yeah.
oh! So I think we all guilty of that, Fazli. We all
Yeah.
guilty of that.
Um
I think it's okay to.
funny Rafi, last week I spoke to this guy who has I think at least 10 lah, I think supercars, right? I mean this guy is wealthy, right?
Oh.
So then another guy spoke to him about, and I'm like, okay, can you please not talk about this topic? The other guy was talking about buying his son a Lamborghini for his birthday.
Huh?
Okay, that was the topic. Okay, so then I felt
Gila.
out of place. I'm like, why? What am I doing here? Like nobody's gonna buy a
Yeah.
Lamborghini for me, that's for sure, right?
Yes.
But then again, this guy who has this more than 10 supercars, he said an interesting thing. He said that in my experience of buying so many supercars,
Mhm.
the best feeling has always been before I purchased the car.
Yes. Yeah. Betul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's
betul. So true.
crazy,
Yeah.
right? I mean, how can that be? You always wanted something so much, and then the moment you
Yeah.
have it, you're still
Tak
happy.
best.
Not to say you're not, tapi dah tak
Yeah.
rasa sebest sebelum dapat.
Yes. Yes, it's so true, Fazli. It's so true in to its core because the thrill to get it is the most exciting,
Hmm,
and it really depends of because that is the 10th car. You see,
that's right.
the 10th car
That's
means
right.
he had have all that experience to
Yep.
actually know what it entails after the
Yeah.
purchase. Kan? But
Yeah.
perhaps when he was driving before he gets his first
Yeah.
car, maybe he
Yeah.
feel the sensation is longer than
Yeah, when
after
he
10
was
car lah.
dreaming, and when he was
Mm-hmm.
dreaming, when he was
Yeah.
like, or calculating every month whether I have enough now, not
Yes.
to now
Yeah.
purchase that car, okay?
Betul.
Itulah, so very important to appreciate the journey lah, Refi, right?
Yes. Betul. Yeah.
In
I agree.
everything, because the destination is a dot. The moment you
Yes.
arrives at that dot,
Yes.
that's the end, right?
Now we did talk about like how the mind, really plays a part in our life. How does it influence your decision?
I think the mind ni is I mean if we have our body and we understand that it's our muscles that give us the ability to move and all that. I think the mind is just the muscle for decision making and everything else, right?
Mhm,
So I feel that the stretching of the mind too, young, very, very important. So we go to the gym to build our muscles, right? So that our muscles are strong. Okay. But then again, how do you make the mind strong and healthy? And this is the part where I feel that, the mind works best when it's given some level of tension or pressure. Like going to the gym, lifting weight is hard, it's not great, but the result is fantastic. So the mind in its natural form loves to be in comfort, I feel. Benda yang senang, semua benda yang senang lah, path of least resistance, let's call it that.
yeah.
But the mind punya value ni, you can see the true value when you are putting a little bit of tension on it, when you are solving complex problems, when you are put in a totally different environment. For example, I send you to Japan right now and ask you to stay there for 3 months without knowing a single word of Japanese, for example,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Now, the mind is highly uncomfortable at that point, right? But I'm sure
Yeah.
if you stay there long enough and you make a little bit of effort to try to learn and try to speak with people around you, then after 3 months, you feel, wow, I can do this. When on the
Hmm.
first day, you feel it's totally impossible, perhaps.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is, right? And
Yeah.
now that, it's the end of the year, next year I'm determined to put my mind in yet another uncomfortable state to let it stretch and be more flexible, right? Because I
Hmm.
know I know that the mind can handle it, right? And the moment the mind is stronger, it has done all the complex stuff previously, it will remember that. And this is the point that where I answer your question. I think after the mind has been stretched and it's more flexible, it's stronger and healthier, then I can go for bigger goals, bigger
Hmm.
challenges in life, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
things which are more difficult, then I can go to the next level. So say I'm at level 3, I would like to go to level 4 now. I would like to deal with more sophisticated stuff. So
Yes.
that's how my mind influences my decision. I think my mind at least propels me towards the direction that I want to go to, right? And therefore, I feel there's this sense of responsibility on my part to make sure
Hmm.
that the mind can always cope and handle, bigger stuff in the future. So
Hmm.
that's how I look at it, Rafi. And
And
in your case, how do you do that, right? How do you make sure that your mind can influence your best decisions?
I spoke about the heart wants something, but the
Yeah.
mind has to decide whether it's good for you or not, because the heart
Yeah.
cannot,
Yeah.
the heart cannot think.
Yeah.
People say that the heart is the king and the mind is your prime minister.
Oh,
The
okay.
king would want, whatever lah, king wants this.
Yeah.
Tapi the prime minister would have to like come up with this
Advice.
resolution. Yes. And, and this and that, to really um, decide for you. Because I have learned that I think the mind is so powerful that if the mind says something about the decision about you're about to make, the mind works in a very complex way to
Mm-hmm.
influence your decision, meaning it would lay out all the paperwork it needs because the
Mm.
heart only see, you know, what's there
Yeah.
and what it entails. So I think for me, when I'm about to make a decision, um, I definitely utilize the mind a lot more than my heart. If I decide to stay in this life, I would know for sure that why it's good for me
Yeah.
than to follow my heart, because the heart is not sustainable as the mind. What the heart wants is not sustainable for me. And the mind would know what is sustainable. So
Yeah.
sustainable in my experience means that if I were to decide something, which I have experienced it, and I have left the country and moved away, and I thought I was going to be happy, and I was at my most miserable because I didn't think far enough.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
this is what my heart wants. This is what my heart desires. So the
Mm-hmm.
reason I speak a lot about the heart when I answer your question is because, like I said, it's the war between the two is an ongoing thing that I still struggle to this day. That I find that for me, it's not. It's the mind is conquered the whole body, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if my mind says I'm not good enough, it will reflect on my body, on my face, on the way I behave, in the way I talk, in the way I treat people, the way I
Yeah.
respond.
Yeah.
So I really think that how the mind influence our decision in our life is that what you think of yourself and the people around you and the environment that you're in a place where you will decide if it's better or not.
Absolutely.
If you get what I mean, right?
Absolutely.
Kan?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I kid you not, with the mind, I think it can also change the course of your life. If I feel like I'm a failure,
Yeah.
I would not probably accomplish my studies in the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you talk about personal goals.
Yeah.
What's in your mind will set your goals
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
Again, we set it
Betul.
free means it's out there for you to get it. It's
Betul.
your dreams to chase.
I can't help but, but to feel that, I imagine between a horse and a horse rider, right?
Mhm,
I look at, for example, let's say the horse is the heart and the mind is the rider on horse. So
mhm,
at the end of the day, it's how well you ride a horse, for example, is the combination of how good the rider manages, the horse, and how
mhm,
the horse, is comfortable enough to take
mhm.
instructions from the rider, right? And
Yes.
I think the ultimate goal is to make these two parts work together. Because if
Mm-mm.
it's just the mind, yeah, you're not going to go anywhere. The horse won't move, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
The
Exactly.
best is
Yes.
to achieve that equilibrium between the heart and the mind, the horse rider and its horse and his horse. And then you can have a smooth and wonderful, pleasant ride, I feel. So that's how
Indeed.
I look at it.
Yeah, it takes two to tango. Kan?
Mm,
Just put this is just me and myself and
mm,
I. The two to tango is my brain and myself. Kan? If my
yeah,
brain keeps telling me that I cannot live here, I cannot fit in this lifestyle, it's not the kind of life I should live, I should do this and do that instead. And like you said, I think I really like the point when you say you need to take action to change the course of your life if you
yeah,
know for sure that that's not what you want, okay? And
yeah,
be yourself in so many ways. It's true, because that you set your path to life.
yeah.
And I really think the mind is so powerful that it can change it. It can.
Mm,
Whether or
mm,
not you have the willpower to do it,
mm,
gerakkan kaki dan tangan you,
mm,
mulut you, kan? Untuk
mm.
type the keyboard and write the letter, apply this job. I was thinking to further my studies again, to have a
Oh,
whole
wow.
new experience, to get
Yeah,
away or something. I don't know. I really don't. I'm
yeah,
like I said, when I feel numb, guy, my mind is thinking a lot about like, what do I need to do to change it while keeping everything intact? Like I know for sure if I were to decide and be myself again,
mm,
that person I used to be, it would be very bad.
yeah,
I don't want to
yeah,
live that path again because a Hollywood lifestyle is not the life, I must say, that is apa sangat dark. All this
wow.
party. What I mean by party, hardcore party,
Mm,
like hardcore party. I live that life. I don't like, it makes me very depressed, very sad. I don't want to go through that path again. So if I would decide to leave this apart,
yeah,
I know it won't do good to me.
yeah, yeah,
Kan? So I takut tau, like to make that sort of decision just so that I want to follow my heart.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
content
think
in some point.
I
Yeah,
I
yeah, go on.
think I think macam you cakap this living. I mean, I've never lived that life, Rafi, but
Mm-mm,
all
mm-mm,
I can imagine is when you mention a lot of partying, kan? And
mm-mm.
I think partying is all about, overstimulation of the mind. When
You,
you
you.
with the music, with the people, with trying to keep up.
Yes,
And itulah, and I'm not
yes.
surprised when you say that you feel a bit down after that. Pasal the mind is
You.
overly stimulated,
Yes,
kan? It probably
yes,
craves that space of silence and normalcy, and
yes.
and that's why it's giving you that kind of emotion, lah, I suppose.
Betul. It's so true. You said it so well, Fazli,
Yeah.
in ways I cannot say it. You said it so well. That is exactly what I mean.
Oh,
Overstimulation with, say,
wow.
alcohol, drugs, and then attractive people,
Yeah.
the unmentionable things. I don't want to tell you,
Yeah.
and other
I
stuff
mean,
until I know you well enough. But but I'm just saying, tak boleh. Dia
or at least
memang
not on a podcast.
no, not on a podcast. But there's overstimulation. I miss it. I miss it. I miss it. I do.
Yeah.
But I also
Yeah.
look at my son. I don't want him to live in that way. And I don't want to
Yeah.
see a reflection of me in him.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So I know. So you,
I get it. I
you get
get
what I
it.
mean? Kan? So
Yeah. Yeah.
selagi
Yeah.
I boleh takes two to tango with me and myself and me and my wife,
Yeah.
I wouldn't make that difficult decision.
Yeah.
Unless she wants to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If she's not happy, I told her she's free to go. But for now, as long as we can still sustain like I said, being normal is the thing for me.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
normal, and to me, it's like okay. But again, how would I define normal? To a certain extent, is something that I need to rediscover again. Maybe I don't know. 'Cause my brother went through a divorce. My sister and my cousin also went through a divorce. They went through very difficult divorce that I feel would I want the same thing too?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean? So
normal could have the definition of healthy, right?
tak tahu.
Happy.
Maybe yeah.
and
Kalau
fulfilled,
contentment
right?
for me, kalau content,
Yeah,
that mean okay lah kan. Diorang memang dah toxic sangat dah. Dia tak boleh. It
yeah,
kills them. So they need
yeah.
to go. And I would suggest if it kills them, the best way out is that, then do it.
Betul.
Betul
Yeah.
kan? You know what I mean?
What's healthy, right? What's healthy,
Yes.
right?
What's healthy? Exactly.
Go back to that. What's
Go
healthy?
back.
Healthy
What's
is to have
healthy?
a good relationship, stable, where you can talk and all that. If it's toxic,
Yes.
then it's not
Uh-uh.
healthy. Okay?
How do you personally and professionally conceptualize a healthy mindset? You spoke about how, what minds, how do you foster, but how do you conceptualize a healthy mindset and cultivate the power to self-control? Oh,
Okay.
and be
Interesting
authentic to
question.
live your best life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think, you know, I think growing up now, maturing slowly at 40 and all that, I have concluded that the highest level of happiness is when I'm not taking as much as I'm giving, right? So, before this, in my younger days, it's always about amassing stuff, right? Amassing success, amassing wealth,
Mhm.
amassing whatever, right? I want more, I want more, I want more, right? But
Yeah.
now I think I have somehow, it's come to a point where I feel that I'm convinced that no matter how much I have, is no longer gonna add substantially to the happiness that I'm feeling,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
what I do notice at the same time is when I give more, when I contribute more, not just for myself, but for the benefit of others, it gives me higher level of happiness and fulfillment. And that has been the theme and the core to my aspiration in the last couple of years. Kan? So
Yeah.
last time, for example, we spoke about business earlier before this recording started. Before this, if I were to start a business, the first question in my mind was how much money I can make, right?
Hmm.
But now the aspiration, the first thing that comes to mind is how much job opportunities I can create, how many people I can hire so that this person who works for me, he has a family, he has children that he can send to school, to college, maybe university, become a doctor or something, and then that person can continually contribute and be a good factor in the society. Yeah?
Yeah.
So right now the mind is more towards that. That's how I conceptualize my mind. What
Mm.
is the thing that I can do so that my level of contribution can be bigger,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So it takes away. So before this, I must say that I put myself at the center of everything. So now I have removed myself from the center of everything and put others at the center of everything. Then I
Hmm.
realized when you do that, everything becomes bigger. Your idea becomes better because you're thinking on a level or a higher elevation. It's no
Hmm.
longer at that, say, 3,000 meters altitude. You're going to 30 or 20,000 or 10,000 meters altitude, right? And you see things in a bird's eye perspective, and you see how one tiny bit of your effort, of your sacrifices, can actually deliver a lot of goodness to everyone around you, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
yeah, that's the concept, at least, and how I look at things. And when we put I realize when I do that, it's hard for me to go to the dark side. Let's call it the dark side. It's
Yeah.
all about feeding my ego,
Hmm.
making more money so I can buy more stuff. I can show off more. It takes
Yeah.
away all of that. It becomes irrelevant because if the mind is thinking about others,
Hmm.
that won't come into play anymore because the healthy stress kicks in. And how do I make this impactful? How do I change people's lives? So it's very, it takes away all the negative things, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And it's been a wonderful thing since I did that. You know, it feels
Hmm.
such a it feels very light. I feel
Yeah.
very happy, and it's hard to go to wake up every day and just feel down or whatnot, because I know that at the back of me there's a huge responsibility. I want to contribute. If I don't do this, then all this number of people in my mind that I could have helped, that's not going to happen,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how at least I look at things nowadays,
I
in
love
terms
it.
of
Yeah.
concept lah, kan? And
Yeah.
so similar lah, and I'm pretty sure, and I want to ask you the same. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, how do you tweak your mind? I mean, what is the concept that you have laid down to make sure that your mind can work towards that?
Mm, I like your noble answer. I may have something somewhat similar. I mean, in this journey, I think my conceptualization can be as simple as what I am contributing um, to my son on a daily basis, or to my wife, or to myself, even. I think it's as simple as just I wake up this morning and my son is next to me and I am getting him ready for school and I can get up to get breakfast and then pick him up and just live my daily life normally.
Mm,
Also, I think as simple as working on an episode.
mm,
Yeah, and if I don't get the idea to begin with, I would then reflect on what is true to me.
mm,
And then these things you see is basically, I wouldn't say it's 100% me, but I think it comes from God too, you know?
definitely.
What the mind really works is that sometimes it's there, but are you able to olahkan benda tu in a writing
Yeah,
form, kan? Or in a product, or in your work, or in the stuff that you do? If you can, that means, kan, you're functioning okay.
yeah,
But there are points sometimes, kan, when I'm unable to conceptualize all these ideas in my mind.
mm,
And when I'm unable to, I would be like, kenapa ni? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, kenapa tak ada? So, I kena tengok TV ke? I will do something just to stimulate balik myself.
yeah,
It doesn't have a specific answer for me.
yeah,
Um, First, also because I don't have a big role in my life.
mm, yeah,
I don't hold a position where I deal with a lot of people apart
mm,
from my own little family and the guests that I spoke to.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think that's it.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
I think
I
that's it.
think
Yeah.
I think I
Oh,
think the best gift that you and I have is
yeah.
our children, right? My children,
Yes.
the son and all
Yeah.
that, kan? So I selalu pandang macam ni tau, Rafi. I macam, okay, in my mind, I want my children to be the best human being they can be, kan? Okay, that's number one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then I imagine, like, okay, how would they know how to be that person? So my quick answer to that is that they will look at the closest role model they have, which happens
Uh-huh.
to be me, right? We as dads, right? And then the third question is, so for example, okay, they look at us and let's say there are something that they are looking at us and they still have a couple of questions in their head about, okay, I'm not sure about certain things, although I look at my dad, but dad didn't give the answer. Then I normally, this is what I do. I ask myself, so firstly, if you did know, although I probably don't know, but if I did know the answer, what would that answer be, right? And I say,
Yeah.
okay, the answer could be you have to do A, B, and C. Now, I probably didn't know before that how to do A, B, and C, but I just start doing something towards A, B, C, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then magically, somehow, it does materialize. So something that even I didn't know how to do before, I'm lost. But when I think about, hey, if my kids are asking me these questions and I'm not able to answer it, who else gonna be able to answer it? So it puts myself in a no choice position, right? I have to,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And when I do, and I realize actually memang betul banyak benda yang I'm not aware of. But if I
Mm-mm.
imagine I am actually aware of it and I know of it, I just imagine it, it can
Mm-mm.
somehow lead me towards it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So when people
Yes.
ask me, oh sorry, when I ask my kid, oh it's lunchtime now, what would you like to eat? The standard answer, you know lah, don't know,
Mm.
don't know lah what to eat. So I always ask them, but what? Okay, I'm gonna ask you again. If you did know what you want to eat right now, what would that answer be?
Mm.
And then somehow keluar chicken rice.
Sebaik
Oh,
tak
so you did
McDonald's.
know. So he said, oh, then I said, you did know then, right? Because at
Yes.
first you said you don't know, but if you pretended that you know the answer, then actually you do know the answer.
Actually, it's either they know or it's hard for them to tell you
Oh,
because maybe
malas nak
chicken
cakap lah
rice
kan. Just like,
is
yeah,
hard to
sorry,
get lah. Kena
I'm
beli
busy
ke.
with my
Ah,
iPad now.
ah.
Ask me tomorrow. Okay, fine. Tomorrow it is then.
Nanti cakap chicken rice ni kan nak kena masak pula. Oh, tak,
Hari
tak
tu
forget
I
je.
nak beli
Ah,
Starbucks, orang punya
ah.
mengamuk kan.
Kenapa?
So,
Oh,
tak
tak
adalah
boleh.
pasal I don't want nak makan
Boycott.
McDonald, I tak bagi. I kata boycott,
Okay. Okay.
right? So then, okay, so we did go to have a chicken rice, and after that, I
Hmm.
needed coffee badly, and there was only Starbucks there. So I told them like,
Mm.
look, this is darurat lah. I need to buy lah. For
Yeah.
half an
Yeah.
hour, they didn't let me go out of the car. Kata Baba,
Hmm.
every sip that you take, there's a portion of Palestinian boys' blood in there.
Oh.
They went to that extent to psycho my mind. So I'm
Wow.
like, okay lah, okay, fine. I won't drink coffee. I won't die. Okay, great.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. But it's
But
funny because
itulah,
when you said apa tadi? When you said ni nasi ayam ada
nasi
agak dah
ayam.
ni mesti kejadian kejadian baru.
Aduh. That's the most challenging part of being a parent, right? Like
Yeah.
figuring
Yeah.
out what to feed them. Ayo,
Yes. So McDonald's tak boleh. And then
tak boleh
you
lah, tak
pula
boleh
take
lah.
Starbucks kan. Okay. Okay. And
Kan.
yeah, but it's true, it's like I think like especially the power to self-control. I think for me is how far would I let myself go?
Yeah,
If I am upset about something or if I'm excited about something, I have to have some form of self-control. Like
that's
I'm
right.
excited about this conversation. I'm excited about future episode, but I cannot be overly excited and you know and take myself out of the context.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
basically what I'm saying is like the mind has the power to really set the path for you. But
Mm-hmm.
how far would you let yourself go?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
to be authentic is something I think is also important. And
yeah,
to be authentic is to know who you are and take that decision of yours to a level where it is acceptable for you and for the people around you. It may not be 100%, but I think how I would cultivate is really that. It's just I would make sure that if it's okay for me to put a percentage of what would people think, just to keep watching my toes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be fully myself out there, but at the same time I would behave at some point like my mother wouldn't like me sitting slouching on the table go, okay, I would not do
Mm,
it, kan.
yeah,
Tapi when I'm at home, whatever lah.
iyalah,
Okay,
iyalah.
well, I know it's not what name, but I'm just saying that that's how I would do it. Like I would
Yeah,
I would think I would factor in what other people think in my
Yeah.
decision,
Yeah.
what goes in my mind. Like, would it be acceptable? If it's
Yeah.
acceptable for me, would it be acceptable for at least, a certain amount of people around me? Okay,
Yeah.
because I have to respect myself and I have to respect
Yeah.
people around me too.
Others as
I
well.
want, yeah, I want them to earn my respect and I want
Yeah.
to earn their respect. So,
Yeah.
in order to do that, I have to compromise. That would be my answer to how I personally and professionally conceptualize a healthy mindset.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
just to add a little bit, right? You mentioned being authentic, right? Being
Hmm.
authentic to
Hmm.
ourselves, being genuine. And
Yeah.
I think I have a little personal experience when it comes to this. So, I in the last episode I mentioned that, I've always my life previously has always been about pleasing people and, doing what they want me to do instead of what I want to do, right? And then
Yeah.
I took that plunge. I did. I said that I wanted to be authentic to myself. From now
Hmm.
on, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to say what I want to say. And you are absolutely right. It did
Hmm.
rub, some people wrongly, right? And
Hmm.
as a
Yeah.
result,
Yeah.
these people, they kind of left my life, right? And I think when you want to be authentic and genuine to yourself, there's a little bit of risk. And the risk is that you must be prepared to be a bit, I know, I won't say alone, but you're going to be by yourself,
Yes.
because there are people who are just not comfortable with what you're doing, kan? But
Yeah.
the interesting part is this. I realize also after that period ends, a lot more people start getting back into my life. And I noticed this, huh?
Hmm.
The new people that came later into my life, they are more aligned with my authentic values.
Mm.
Kan?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
dia
Yeah.
memang macam ada purging punya period, right? So
Mm.
it's like you have a full jar and then suddenly the jar has to be empty so that you can put new stuff into the jar, right? And I
Yes.
think
Yes.
it's just the cost of being authentic and genuine, right?
Hmm.
And the good part is, that period where you are a bit isolated because people think you're weird or whatever,
Hmm.
that actually is a very valuable part. I think that that part of being by yourself when you're a bit isolated, it allows you to be in tune with yourself.
Hmm.
Recalibration period lah, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you need to bring down the level of trying to please people all the time and then
Yeah.
increase the level of your authenticity, right? So that it
Hmm.
meets at a new balance in that
Yes.
sense.
I'm curious when you mention about you wanting to be authentic. For
Mm,
me, is to be myself. Is to be me. Is
mm,
not that I have an attitude, but I to be me is to be this flamboyant me, and it's okay for them
mm,
to not judge me. What would
mm.
it be for you? What do you mean by when you want to be authentic? How is it not authentic for you before
Okay.
and after?
I mean, there are many examples, but I'm going to pick one, okay?
Yes, yes, please.
So all my
Thank.
life, people have always acknowledged me, given me validation
Mm-hmm.
because of my achievements from school, kan?
Mm,
Oh, okay, good
mm-mm,
student, best student, this, that, that. Kerja pun, made it into corporate very early and all that, and then climbed the corporate ladder pretty fast at that point. So it becomes an expectation of people for Fazli to always be this amazing, super hardworking, very smart, very goal orientated, very ambitious man, for example,
mm,
right?
mm-mm, mm-mm,
Then I realized that's not what I want I mean, that's not the
mm,
only thing I want in my life.
mm-mm.
What I really want is to be a great father.
Yes,
That's
yes,
more important than anything else. So I
yes.
started acting accordingly, right? I started
Mm-hmm,
spending more time with my children. I started giving them a lot more attention. I started cutting back on, the long hours of work so that those hours I can spend helping my children with their homework. So betul,
mm,
the previous group of my friends is like, Fazli, he lost it already lah, he's not as as successful or as great as we think and all that. But that's what
Mm,
they think. In my
yeah.
mind and in my heart, I feel I
Mm,
am the best version of myself when I put my family as my priority,
mm.
right? So,
Yes,
so,
yes, yeah, 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 yeah.
so So if I didn't change that, Rafi, until now, I'll be just working and working, trying to prove that these people punya expectation is right and fulfilling their
Mm-mm,
expectation. It's not
mm-mm, betul.
necessarily what I want for my life, right?
Okay, I get it now. Yes, yes. So, yes, I get it. I get it. I
Yeah.
totally get it. Yeah. It's a very good answer, Fazli.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also like fulfilling other people's expectation when it's
Oh,
not all you want. It's
yeah.
totally, you know,
Yeah, I'm sure, Rafi,
uh,
your previous friends, right, from 10 years ago would want to see you out there in the scene every night and, showing everyone a good time, right? But
yes,
what are you doing now? You are,
exactly.
you are
Totally.
basically, focusing on your life and your family.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
don't do that yeah anymore because
Yeah.
especially it's not just that, it's also the work. When I used to work to in PR, entertaining a lot of clients
Mm-mm.
is very it's taking so much time, you know.
Yeah. And
And
taking a toll on your health too, right? That's the thing.
yes, yeah, balik malam, very unhealthy lifestyle. Tapi itulah, that I don't miss. um but licking people to please other people so that I can get business or contract, it's not something I miss. Because it's a very exhausting job. Because and,
Yeah.
I don't know if I can value myself the same way today as I was before because I did it to get that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't sincere. I don't know if they were sincere in that friendship, although some remain friends till today. Maknanya now I know that it's not just business at the time.
Yeah.
Maknanya
Yeah.
so just a few people lah kan. But most of them
Yeah.
go because it's business. They separate business and personal. Buat benda tu for business only. Tapi tapi ada juga yang remain in my life because there's it's more than that. So basically, yeah, I agree. Today's life for me is I feel more fulfilling because it's for them. It's also for me.
Yeah.
I do it not because of them, but because of me. I did
Yeah,
it for
and
me.
let's not discount the fact that okay, imagine we have five closest friends, right? And
Mm,
all this while we've been very similar to them. And then there was this one fine day stumbled upon a realization that, oh, okay, this is probably not the best thing for me. Let's not discount the fact that the other five of our friends who are doing exactly what we were doing and all that and not changing simply because they didn't
mm,
know what to do, simply because
mm.
they themselves do not have the answer.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
they
yeah,
are
yeah.
also lost. That maybe they are just playing along like we did,
Betul.
right? Let's not discount that
Mm-mm,
fact. And sometimes,
mm-mm,
when we do that, and maybe one or two or three of these five friends of ours will, after 6 months and 1 year, look at us, and then, comes the light bulb moment. Hey, actually, maybe Refi is doing the right thing. Maybe
mm-mm.
this is not, I'm pretty sure they're not going to party until they are 85 like crazy, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so maybe they will come to a point where they feel like, hey, what Refi is doing is a lot more healthier, a lot more fulfilling, a lot more sustainable, a lot, I can look after my health and all that. And one or two of them
Mm-mm.
might follow you very soon.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you think people are struggling with in the mind? And what do you struggle with your mind? What are the
I think,
barriers? Yeah.
yeah, two parts question, right? The first one, most people, I think, when it comes to the mind, number one, we have to acknowledge that fear is the biggest obstacle of all, right? I mean,
Mm-mm.
fear comes from the mind purely because it's the part of our brain that is trying to protect us from harm, that keeps us alive. And then, when we are fearful, that's when we don't do what we are supposed to do, for example, right? We are scared of
Yes.
changing. We are scared of uncertainties. We are scared
Yes.
about how people will look at us, all that kind of stuff. So I would say that I think the biggest obstacle in most people's mind is fear, and fear for being authentic, for example. Like you
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
rightly mentioned, what would
Mm-mm.
they think? What would they say?
Mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
and I think fear is something that is necessary, but it's not useful most of the time, because you and I will have to agree that our life is not under constant threat. We don't live in Gaza, right, Refi?
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
Gaza right now, they all have all the rights in the world to be fearful, for example, because they
Yes.
can die anytime. But
Yeah.
you and I probably right now, we are in the comfort of our homes, and our lives are not under direct threat at this point. So to have fear right now is not truly the right thing, or let the fear over controls everything. That's probably not the right thing to do, because it's supposed to make sure that we stay alive, and we are already doing that. We are staying alive. So
Mm-hmm.
what's the fear for that, right? So it's
Yeah.
just playing in the background, and we have to realize that at some point we will have to control our fear. And how do we do that? We have to basically know with some level of certainty, right? What's the most probable thing that's gonna happen, and what's the most, least unlikely that will happen, and then we use that to basically chart our next step forward, right?
Yeah.
As for me right now, my mind obstacle is, I think self belief is something that I'm working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if I were to tell myself that, you know, next year I want to create, say, 1,000 jobs, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only reason why I'm saying 1,000 is because I probably am not the most confident to say that I can create 2,000 jobs,
Yes.
right? So
Yeah.
this self-limiting belief, I believe that most people have it, everyone has it, but it's something that that, like I said, I have to stretch my mind. I have to make it more flexible, more nimble, so that it knows that it can be achieved. Then I need to think harder. I need to be smarter. I need to be more creative in giving myself a bigger goal, right? So do you, for example, like in your situation right now that it's the end of the year,
Mm-hmm.
do you struggle with the same, or are you struggling with something different?
I think it's somewhat the same, especially self-limiting belief. Mainly because I think it's a lot of them are negative thoughts. A lot of them are telling me like, okay, I'm tired. I cannot do this. Can I sustain? You know, but sometimes I have to counter that. Be like, okay, I can. Take your time. You know, it's not the end of the world. If future guest says no, there's someone else. It's a constant training to my mind that I need to keep telling that it's okay. Deep down, I know it's not okay, but the mind says it's okay. So I just need to like shift my mind from negative to a lot more positive. And I think that I have to focus on the more on the positive rather than negative. I think that is a struggle I think I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah.
We always have these negative thoughts in ourselves that, you know, that we think this is our limit when
Mm,
we can actually do more. But
mm,
at the same time, we want to be realistic too, to
yeah.
know what is our limit and not to be overwhelmed with what we can do and
Yes.
be overachievers when sometimes you know that is your limit. So to
Yeah,
know what is your limit is the key to everything.
that's right.
Can it's so you can only explore yourself out in the jungle if only you know what is your limit. You wouldn't go to the lion if you know that the lion will eat you. Instead, you would steer your way around, through the
Mm.
jungle away from the lion. That
Yeah,
is, because your limit is to be eaten by the lion.
yeah, yeah.
So if I know myself, this is where I am. I know, I believe it will turn to something better, if not bigger. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but that is, I think I know where I stand.
Mm-hmm.
I know who am I. I know my numbers.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, that is something that compensate the struggles in the mind.
Yeah.
Then my mind would think, okay, this is what I need to do. Now I know that these are my limits. These are the struggles I have to go through every day
Mm-hmm.
or in the future. This is what I'm going to do.
Mm.
It takes practice, Fazli. It's not something that I can just say it as easy as today.
Yeah.
It's something that I would have to sleep through it. Sometimes I would have to laugh it off and then cry and then talk to people about it and then digest it and then come to a conclusion where, oh, you know what? I was so worried about it like 6 months ago. Now I'm on my 17th episode. I have 9 more episodes and it's done for the season. I had no idea how I did it, but I
Yeah.
think the mind is so powerful that I was able to sustain this long
Yeah. Definitely. That's
and
so.
complete it, and complete
Yeah.
the work. Because
Yeah.
I do know, even myself, sometimes I'm guilty of it. I do know people sometimes leave halfway
Yeah.
because they cannot do it. And there are times I tell myself that I cannot do it because I'm tired. Mentally, it's exhausting.
Mm.
Getting guests to the show is not easy because they have their time, I have mine, you
Mm.
know. Some I may not hit the right note. So it's a constant struggle, lah, Fazli. It's not something I can really pin down
Yeah.
how,
Yeah.
how I work with it. But it's
Mm.
something, it really depends on the situation. But I
Yeah.
can narrow that into just one simple keyword is faith. We
Yeah.
believe in something, but do we have faith in it? Believe, faith is the soul to the belief.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in something without faith, um, it's just a belief.
Correct.
But a belief with faith, it's the force is strong.
Yeah.
So people like me are struggling with faith. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have faith to ourselves sometimes. The
Mm-hmm.
faith in the mind. We can believe in something, but we don't have faith in something,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have, it doesn't value something. It doesn't mean anything. It's empty. A belief is empty.
Wow.
Can. Oh. And yeah, I'm still trying to find that faith in me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How can we harness self-awareness in this mind state journey? Now that we all know this is what we need to do, this is what our mind is, what it does, and how it has helped us to, achieve our goals and become the person that we are today.
Mm.
How do you harness self-awareness in this
Yeah.
journey?
I think you know, I like to look at it as okay, we are here one body, right? One person with a soul, and there are parts to our life, right? Let's call it, the different parts of our life. It could be
Yes.
our mind, our body, right? Our soul, the level of our contribution, and what do you call that? The our contribution to society. So there are different parts of our life, right, Refi? Our
Hmm.
family, our business, right? So the idea to remember, I feel, is this. let's say there are 7 or 8 different parts of our life. We have to accept that life in itself is never gonna be perfect. There will be time, like I told you this morning before we started, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
very happy with my trip. It was very fulfilling. I was very positive. Balik, then I'm not feeling too great. I'm feeling under the weather. So the body
Yeah.
now has lower score. Let's call it
Mm-mm.
maybe 4 out of 10. But
Yeah.
my business is probably at 8/10 because I had such great meetings, right? So
Mm-hmm.
and this will fluctuate as long as we breathe and we live, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important for us to be self-aware that we have to make sure that we can always push ourselves forward to go on with the next day and the following day after that, despite of whatever we are going through at this point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take one thing at a time, to accept that the only perfect life that one person is ever gonna have is not here.
Yeah.
That was never promised to us, that life on this earth is going to be a perfect one, because there is no perfect life, right? Even the
Yeah.
richest person are struggling with something. The
Of
poorest people
course.
are struggling with different things, right? They might
Yeah.
struggle with money, but they probably are very happy regardless. So this
Mm-mm.
self-awareness is to understand that, you know, how you feel is a product of, as we mentioned just now, the combination of your mind and your heart, your emotions. So
Mm-hmm.
how we feel, and I think it's a no-brainer to say that everyone will feel at their happiest when they have the healthiest mindset and the healthiest emotions.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
to constantly make sure that you preserve your mind to be a healthy, a very active, very creative mind, and at the same time working on how we feel. If we know that we are constantly sad, and then we have to figure out a solution. How do I get out of this, long period of sadness? How do I,
Mm-mm.
feel more confident and work on my inferiority complex, for example, right? How do I build
Yes. Yeah.
better level of confidence, considering that my level of confidence now is quite low? So I think it
Yes.
has like the both the horse and the horse rider, these two,
Mm-hmm.
the mind and the heart, they have to work together, right? And I love the fact that just a few minutes ago you mentioned faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is most probably the single most important thing in life, to have faith, to
Yeah.
believe in something, regardless of the state of circumstance that we are in right now, to believe that that is something that is going to happen regardless, because it's written, because it's already decided by God, and all I have to do is to march forward day by day towards getting closer to that direction. Okay? And faith can also be coined or be called letting go, right? You know that you've worked very hard to build a healthy mind, and you know you've put in a lot of effort to work on your heart and your emotions, building
Mm.
positive emotions.
Yeah.
Upon doing these two, what else is there to be done? I think it's to have faith and to just let go and to
Mm.
let life flows as how it's supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. At the end of
Mm.
the day, Refi, I believe the fact that we are speaking right now was already written long time ago, that it's gonna happen in this way, right? It's gonna happen at this time,
Mm-hmm.
and it took all your life journey to get to this episode today, and it took all of my life journey to get to speaking to you today, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We are feeling the emotion for the last 30, 40 years on every single occasion, or life happening that happen in our lives, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I think on the higher level, somewhere, it was already determined, it was already written that Refi will go through A, B, C, D, E, F, G. and
Mm.
Fazli will go through A, B, C, D, E, F, G to be at where we are today, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the, we can work very hard on a lot of things, but at the end of the day, what's after that? And I think what really after that is the act of letting go and to have a complete, strong, fundamental faith in life, right?
Mm. Yeah.
That's what I think, Rafi. What's your take?
Let go
Maybe, yeah,
of the
maybe,
word perfection in our
yeah,
life.
maybe, guys,
Yeah.
maybe
Let it
letting go
go.
lah,
Yeah.
letting
Let
go,
go
letting
the
go of
idea of perfection,
expectations, right?
expectation. Yes.
Uh,
And just
you know,
live your life,
yeah. I mean,
however it
Rafi,
may be. There's no escape to what has been written, Fazli.
yeah.
The only
So,
way to
so,
change it is you. But
yeah,
if that what's meant for you will be yours, if it's not, there's no escape
yeah,
or there's no way for you to do but acceptance. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
You're saying?
So I just wanted to share a very small personal story a few days ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yesterday was the 16th. It was my ex-wife's birthday, right? The day before that, on the 15th, would have been our 18th wedding anniversary, right? Of
Yeah.
course, we didn't celebrate it because I got divorced many years ago, right?
Hmm.
And I was in Jakarta, and my children and my ex-wife, they were in KL.
Hmm.
And on her birthday in the morning, I called her, right? And the first thing that came to my mind, I wanted to do this, right? And I sang happy birthday to her on the phone in a
Hmm.
restaurant, surrounded by many other patrons in the restaurant, right?
Yes.
I was singing happy birthday to her. And that small act, right? It made me very happy, right? She was laughing, she was saying, thank you, I appreciate it. But I appreciate how she felt, but
Hmm.
how I felt when I did that, right? I could sing to her and I really meant every word I say. I wish her well, right? And I promise her I'll take her out to dinner and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Now, my mind, when I wanted to make that plunge, right, to finally decide to be separated, I felt like I was going to die.
Hmm.
Okay. I
Yeah.
imagine all the aunties, the uncles, the cousins, the friends, her family, my family, all the worst things that could happen the moment after I take that decision.
Yes.
But guess what, Refi? 5 years down the road, I think everyone, myself, herself, including our close circle and family members,
Hmm.
would have agreed that everyone just looks and feels happier now,
Mm-mm.
right?
Yeah.
So that's the power of the mind. If
Mm-mm.
we think of the worst, it could happen. Yes, it could. But if you are also in the position and you do have the power to make things change for the better, you do, right?
Yeah.
It might not come immediately,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. As you said it, the only thing I had 6 years ago when I made that decision was faith. Faith that everything is going to be okay one day,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
The first 1 or 2 years, everything that happened definitely did not suggest that it was going to have this beautiful outcome on the 6th year.
Yes. Yes.
But you just march forward. You have
Yeah.
faith, you believe in it. Yes, the day went by very, 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 very harsh every single day in the first few years. But the real beauty comes after that. So that's the importance of faith coupled with the power of your mind and your
Mhm.
emotion, right?
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Wow. I
So it
have
is
again. I
really,
have. I'm speechless.
Yeah, it's really in
It's
our
so
mind.
strong. Yeah. What you just said is so strong.
Yeah. So yeah,
Powerful.
it's an example of something that could have gone horribly wrong, but because the power of faith,
Mm,
you know, it turns out to be very, very beautiful. Can
yes. I'm so
so,
happy for you.
I hope that everyone who's listening, right? I mean, I took an example of a divorce, right? But we all could be struggling with totally different things, right?
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Can but just just take a moment to think about it, right? That whatever fear that you have, whatever mind your mind is telling you at this point, you are always, as long as you are alive, you have the power to put in effort towards making the most horrible thing turns into one of the most beautiful things in your life. The
Yeah.
power is yours. Where does the
Yes.
power come? It comes from your mind. If you
Mm-hmm.
feed your mind with healthy, positive stuff, most likely your life would have the most positive outcome.
Yeah.
But if you feed it with the wrong environment, the negative environment, the toxicity and all that, you can also be rest assured that most likely life is going to bring you towards that kind of direction.
Yes. I think what you have just shared is a beautiful advice to really sum up the conversation. And I share the same sentiment about what you just said. I think that is the way to go to lead your life within the power of your mind. Before we end the conversation, what are your New Year's resolutions? What do you wish for yourself? What do you want to leave behind and give yourself a second chance?
Yeah. So, yeah, this is the honest answer would be at any point in my life, right? I do not know how long I'm going to live. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the entire 2024 or even the entire 2023. But at any point in my life, if God decides that tomorrow is going to be my last day, I really would want to go in the state that I am in right now, which is I feel truly, truly happy and very, very grateful for all the things, all the beautiful and not so beautiful things, for all the successes and failures, for all the praises and criticism, for all the comfort and hardship. I am truly, 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 truly grateful for each and every one of them
Mhm.
because all of that combined delivers me this sense of euphoria about life. You know, it's
Yeah.
just, how it feels like when you're just floating in the air, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just
Yes.
floating, it's in bliss. You don't hear a sound, you don't hear anything, and it's just the floating, calmly floating as how probably life should be lived, right?
Yeah.
And my New Year's resolution is I pray that God will loan me more time as much as He could
Hmm.
so that I can continuously feel this kind of feeling every single day from the moment I wake up to the moment I rest my head on my pillow and go to bed, right?
Yeah.
And doing everything that I love doing in between that, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to stay alive. I would like
Hmm.
to stay
Yeah.
happy. I would
Yes.
like to stay healthy. And I would like to surround myself with more people who are positive, like yourself,
Yes.
people who are continuously contributing, whether they realize it or not, right?
Hmm.
Just constantly making the world a better place to be, right?
Yeah.
And of course, I want to have another fulfilling years to be with my children and my family and my
Hmm.
close friends to just share whatever that I can share while I'm still here. You know,
Yes.
I think that would be my biggest wish for the
Oh,
year.
Well said, beautifully said.
Oh boy.
And for me, I think I want to be happy. I want to be
Yeah.
consistently mentally happy, stable,
Hmm. Yeah.
financially. I feel at ease.
Yeah.
Also to like, you know, experience a form of growth that I would never expected it to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're
I've
ready for
been
the next level, huh?
yes, I've been doing this, well, not too long, but long enough. Most people,
Yeah.
most people, do it for a certain amount of time, but I think it's long enough for me to stay this long, sustain this long, and I want to see an exponential growth that would, reflect a different level of success. Like
Yeah.
success does not mean, the success you see on TV, but success means it means something to not just me, but also to the guests, to the listeners, and to my family, to my son. I want to like all of us to be healthy. I think that's very
Yeah.
important. I was
Yeah.
nearly
Oh my
sick a
gosh.
while ago that I
Yeah.
almost missed an episode.
Oh
And
boy.
it was an important person who is a celebrity that I needed to talk to, and knowing that, if I were to reschedule, I might missed it for the season.
Yeah.
But we made it through. Then I realized, you know what? I think I need to insure my voice.
Oh yeah.
Suddenly,
That
kan,
is
tiba-tiba.
probably the most important thing to do right now.
Yes, I think I need to insure my voice. And then, no,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But I need to be
No,
healthy.
no,
Then
that's
I
true.
realized I needed to be healthy. And if I'm not healthy, I wouldn't be able to carry on with the work that
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
It may not be rewarding financially
Yeah.
yet. It's not as
Yeah.
much as I hope to, but like you said, I probably reward me and my family and the people that listen to, and people like you who really find value in this conversation.
Yeah.
It's not just an empty gossip,
No.
conversation dishing about people. It's about self-reflection. How do we find ourselves again in this
Yeah.
self-discovery journey? And I really want and I hope that I can leave that negativity, that
Yeah.
self-limiting belief behind, and just
Yeah.
own myself, to know that I am worthy. I can do this. I know if not you, there are a lot of more people who loves me for who I am. And Fazli
Yeah.
Sharif, I love you for who you are. Thank you for
I
saying
love you
yes
too, brother.
again. Thank you so much for being in this journey with
I
me.
truly appreciate this opportunity. Thank you for
Yes,
having me,
yes,
especially for the second time. It means a lot to me. It means a
yes.
lot to me to
And
continue to
you've
share.
opened up to me to a, a degree of vulnerability that is way beyond anyone's imagination. And your episode has been one of the most listened to this season.
Oh, Alhamdulillah. That's
And
very nice
believe
to
me,
know.
you are doing, more than you think you're doing. And you will
Uh,
do a lot more in the future. And I pray for your success. And I pray for your
Likewise,
happiness.
Refie.
Yeah. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you very much. Thank you.
Support the He podcast via a one-time donation, a monthly subscription from as low as $1, a lifetime membership, and purchase He's exclusive collection of merchandise. And for all other business inquiries at buymeacoffee.com/Refie. Thank you for listening to He. A new episode is available every Thursday, and don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We'd love to hear from you. Follow me on social media at Refie Redzuan and at He Podcast for all the updates and behind the scenes. Once again, thank you for listening to He with Refie Redzuan.